In its commitment to sustain one of the customs and tradition of the Nigerian Army, the 6th Division Port Harcourt has held the 2023 Annual West African Social Activities WASA at the Port Harcourt Barracks. Justice Ihunwo has details.
Though held in January, WASA event usually held at the end of every year is geared towards strengthening social relationship among officers, soldiers and their families, with cultural displays, musical performances and other regimental activities. It is also an avenue for formal social interaction and forum for barrack communities to showcase the rich and diversified cultural heritage of Nigeria, as well as mark the end of an eventful training year, heralding the beginning of another year. The General Officer commanding 6th Division, Major General Jamal Abdusalam, said the scheduled training exercises were all successfully completed with recorded gains. According to him, the training exercise tagged Exercise Stillwater 3 has gone a long way in curtailing the criminal activities and other heinous crimes within the 6th Division area of responsibility.
The 2023 training activities were well designed to sharpen our skills, toughen us in terms of endurance, introduce us to new ways of doing things while reminding us on some basic rudiments of basic soldiering.
He noted that the division made 1,112 arrests, destroyed 233 illegal refineries, seized over 1.1 million liters of illegally refined products, arrested 72 trucks and vehicles, and captured 356 arms and ammunition. The GOC assured that the army will continue to perform its constitutional role to defend democratic values in the country, and the successes achieved will be sustained.
I therefore charge all of us to brace up and do whatever it takes to ensure oil output continues to go up. I thank the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja, for his continued efforts in repositioning the Nigerian Army through his vision and for his continued guidance and strategic direction.
He also paid glowing tributes to the fallen heroes who paid supreme sacrifice to keep Nigeria safe, assuring that they will continue to go after criminals, just as he enjoined army personnel to remain dedicated, focused, and committed to ensuring zero tolerance to oil theft in the Niger Delta, as well as maintaining peace and stability across the country. The event was attended by several dignitaries in the state, including the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Tami Danagogo, who represented Governor Siminalayi Fubara.
The efforts of the Nigerian Army in tackling terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, crude oil theft, and ethno-religious crisis, amongst others, with dedication and sacrifice, is worthy of our commendation.
Justice Ihunwo, Rstv News.
And now public and private schools in Rivers State have resumed normal academic activities for the second term after the Christmas and New Year holidays, as directed by the state government. Godspar Anele visited some public and private schools within the Port Harcourt metropolis and its environs and filed in this report.
The schools visited are Rstv Model Academy, Government Primary School Elelewon, Sprat Hall International School Rumodara, Adekin Crowder Memorial Gear School Elelewon, Government Comprehensive Secondary School Oginiba, Senior and Junior, as well as Government Gear Secondary School UBE Elelewon. At the Rstv Model Academy, Government Comprehensive Junior Secondary School Oginiba, and Government Gear Secondary School Elelewon, pupils and students had words of admonition from their principals and head teachers to enable them perform better during this academic session, especially in their internal and external examinations. At the Government Comprehensive Secondary School Oginiba Senior Category, I observed that the students were cleaning up their classrooms for learning and playing. It was the same scenario at the Government Primary School Elelewon. Teachers interviewed had this to say.
As for teachers too, they should be serious with their teachings. They should go to classes, come to school early.
We bless the name of Jehovah for at least we have some pupils and our teachers. They are all around and our environment is clean and today teaching is starting.
The situation was different at the Spratwell International School and Archdeacon Crowder Memorial Gear School as learning has taken off in earnest. Proprietress, Spratwell International School, Caroline Ojobo, explained that the school is determined to comply with the directive of the state government and expressed satisfaction with the level of attendance of pupils, students, and teachers. Just as the Vice Principal Administration of Archdeacon Crowther Memorial Girls School, Elelewon, Daniel Ona, who disclosed that the teachers are determined to redouble their efforts with modern teaching skills to equip the students ahead of the internal and external examinations.
So the pupils, 90% of them are in school now, and we encourage all parents do everything to be in school first day, because learning actually starts from the first day. From the assembly to the activities in the classroom is fresh information.
Teachers already in class, we expect that teachers will put in their best to ensure that our girls excel academically and otherwise.
Students who were excited to return for more academic business expressed joy.
And we know our parents will be putting no hope in us and will not let them down. We'll make sure we do all what our teachers say we should do and make sure we come out excellently well in our exam.
I'm glad to be back to school, to be around friends, to be around my colleagues, to be around teachers, and it's something to be glad and joyful about. In terms of academic expectations, I promise my teachers, my friends and family that this term I'm going to come out in flying colors.
God's Power Anele, Rstv News.
And now away from state stories, President Bola Tinubu has ordered the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to launch an investigation into the finances of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. President Tinubu handed down the directive in a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ajurin Galali, who also announced the suspension of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, over 585 million naira scandal in the ministry. Edu's suspension came as her predecessor, Sadia Umar Farouk, was grilled for about 12 hours by the FCC detectives over the ongoing probe into the 37.1 billion naira allegedly laundered during her tenure in office through a contractor, James Okwete. Data from the Budget Office indicates that the ministry, as well known as Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, had a 2.38 trillion naira budget from 2020 to 2024. In compliance with the presidential directive, the EFCC has also summoned Edu to appear before its detectives today. The president tasked a panel headed by the coordinating Minister of the Economy and Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, to conduct a comprehensive diagnostic of the financial architecture and framework of the social investment programs. This was aimed at reforming the relevant institutions and programs in a determined bid to eliminate all institutional frailties for the exclusive benefit of disadvantaged households and win back public confidence in the initiative. The federal government has opened an online humanitarian job application for residents of Plateau State. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation in a statement said it is for the communities in Plateau State where people were recently killed by armed bandits. According to the ministry, it is targeted at improving the ministry's response time and quality of response in the communities affected, stressing that this job is for persons resident in those locations to help with community relationships and interaction. The ministry added that applications should be written or online using the links fmhds.gov.ng and fmhapahumanitarianjobs.com. Meanwhile, following President Bola Tinubu's directives, more items have been deployed to Plateau State for the communities and local governments affected by the Christmas Eve attacks. The local government areas concerned in Plateau State are Barkin Ladi, Bokos, and Mango. The federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Education, will today set up an interministerial committee to combat the activities of degree mills. The ministry's Director of Press and Public Relations, Ben Gung, made this known in a notice sent to newsmen in Abuja that the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, will inaugurate an interministerial committee on degree mills. This This came as a report exposing the illegalities perpetrated by some tertiary institutions in the West African states, leading to the Nigerian government placing a ban on the accreditation and evaluation of degrees from Benin Republic and Togo. Professor Maman later said the federal government would further extend its searchlight to institutions in other African countries such as Ghana. According to statistics provided by the National Association of Nigerian Students in Benin Republic and Togo, no fewer than 10,900 Nigerian students studying in Beninese and Togolese universities are expected to be affected by the Nigerian government ban. Meanwhile, the National Universities Commission, the regulatory body of universities in Nigeria, has revealed that no fewer than 18 out of the 58 universities whose operations have been suspended in Nigeria are foreign-owned. Do you love and care about Rivers State and her peace? Let's build and take her to great heights. This is a task we must accomplish. We go on a short break now, but still to come. 60-day state of emergency begins in Ecuador after infamous gang leader vanishes from cell. And in sports, Nigeria draws Egypt, Morocco, Kenya in Paralympics volleyball qualifier. Details of these and more stories when we return. Do stay.
Government special announcement. This is to inform all Rivers State indigents that admission into the Nigeria Defense Academy NDA Kaduna has commenced and will end on 30th April 2024. All interested candidates are encouraged to visit the website at www.ndaapplications.net. That is www.ndaapplications.net for details of the application process. Please note that all applicants must select NDA as first choice in the year 2024 UTME exams. All local government, area chairmen and other stakeholders in the state are kindly requested to sensitize and mobilize their constituents. This is signed by Dr. Tammy Wenike Danagogo, Secretary to the state government.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
And welcome back. It's still Rstv News at 3. And now to other stories. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has vowed to remain resolute in its commitment to rid the nation of the menace of counterfeit drugs and unwholesome products. This is as the agency affirmed that threats to the lives of its officers, as well as the recent negative press concerning the activities of fake drug manufacturers and sellers of substandard food and beverages, are not enough to discourage its efforts to ensure the safety of drugs and foods consumed by Nigerians. The agency's Director General, Professor Mojishola Adeyeye, declared that an expedited review of the nation's law on counterfeiting would go a long way in addressing the issue. Professor Adeyeye said the support of the lawmakers for the review of the extant law for stiff penalties without an option of fine for the offenders was crucial, given the audacious stance of perpetrators in the illicit trade, seemingly undeterred by existing penalties. According to her, NAFDAC brought the nefarious activities of the individuals involved to the public's attention to safeguard citizens during the Yuletide festivities as a caution against consuming potentially harmful substances disguised as cheap wines and soft drinks. She said the agency would not be deterred by unfounded allegations while urging the public to be vigilant and report suspicious activities. And on the foreign scene, all 15 miners trapped in a Zimbabwean gold mine for 4 days have been rescued. Mines Minister Soda Zemu said the workers were healthy and conscious. Officials said the Red Wing gold mine owned by a Metallion Corporation caved in after the shaft collapsed, adding that an earth tremor might have caused the accident. Families of the trapped workers have been camping at the mine site in the mining village of Penhalungato, 270 kilometers east of the capital Harare, waiting for the rescue. The area is home to many undocumented workers who scrape a living amid economic hardship, particularly since the mine was placed under corporate rescue in 2020. Though mine accidents are not uncommon in Zimbabwe, 9 people died in September after the collapse of Bay Horse Mine, a disused gold mine in Chegutu, about 110 kilometers west of Zimbabwe's capital, Harare. And away from that African report, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed that the war in Gaza will continue until Israel reaches all its objectives, including the elimination of Hamas and the return of all Israeli hostages. He also threatened the Lebanon-based Hezbollah group, saying it should learn what Hamas already learned in the previous months. The Israeli military has acknowledged that a sensitive air traffic control base in northern Israel was hit by the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah a day earlier, located on Mount Meron near the border with Lebanon. The army gave no details on the extent of damage from the barrage and said Israeli air defenses were not affected because backup systems are in place. The attack was one of the most serious by Hezbollah in the month of fighting, which has now entered its 4th month. Hezbollah described its rocket barrage as an initial response to this targeted killing of a top Hamas leader in a Hezbollah stronghold in Be'eri last week.